Hello, everybody out there in YouTube land. It's your t-shirted historian. Wow. I have been ill this entire week. Started sometime last week, I think towards Friday or Saturday, that I had a really, really bad sore throat. And I figured, it's probably just allergies. And then it mutated into an upper respiratory infection. So by Tuesday, I had completely lost my voice to the point where I sounded like frog attempting to communicate with human. I am supposed to see the doctor on Monday about it. In the meantime, I'm enjoying the realm of hacking up all kinds of interestingly shaded mucuses and spit and, coughing fits and all that other really fun stuff that you really get to enjoy when you have an upper respiratory infection. The shitty thing is I got it so early in the year, too. I had kind of hoped it would wait until a little later, but no. And it turns out that this one isn't allergy related, most likely, because I ended up passing it on to my mother as well. So that's fun. So yeah, had a great week so far. How about you? All right. Well, it's funny, but as much as we used to enjoy bashing Wizards of the Coast, they really haven't done anything stupid lately. I mean, ever since they released, D&D 2025 or 2024, whatever the hell they're calling it, there really hasn't been a whole lot to laugh at. I mean, I think everybody at this point pretty much just regards it as a joke, and the people who are still adamantly hanging on to it are going to cling to it no matter what. I mean, are we past all the Hasbro hate? I don't think so. Because Hasbro continues to do stupid things, but seems like mostly they're concentrating on Pokemon and Magic these days. So, I don't know. Maybe Wizards of the Coast is getting a reprieve. Certainly we have bigger issues out there, of course. We still have censorship issues on both sides of the equation, which is always fun to deal with. It's like we got one side that doesn't want jiggle physics and big assets in their game. And then we got the other side that also does not want jiggle physics and big assets in their game because they think it's obscene. And to both of y'all, I say, go fuck yourself. Because I'm all about personal freedom. And while I do consider myself to be somebody who leans left, I'm starting to feel more and more centrified as both sides start to ramp up the ridiculousness. No, I mean, I'm not a political YouTuber, so I'm not going to rant about, who did this, who did that. My interest, of course, is, the entertainment sphere, gaming, comics, movies, TV shows, streaming shows, hobbies, that sort of thing. And that's the thing, is like, these are all forms of escape. These are not things that should be politically inclined or charged one way or the other. I understand there is probably a market for some set of those things, and that's fine. Those particular products can, eat a dick and lose all my money. I don't care. Because I'm not buying them. And I don't think any of you are either, because you've been proving it with your wallet. Just like I have. I would rather pay $10 for an indie game that provides me with, 6 to 8 hours of enjoyment or more, if it's a really well-crafted one, than pay $80 for Borderlands 4. Because obviously Borderlands 4 is a huge piece of shit. Just like Bloodlines 2 is a huge piece of shit. Just like Assassin's Creed, Shadows is a huge piece of shit. And most other AAA games and quadruple A games and quintuple A games and games made for games and games made on BlackRock money are shit. I don't know if I mentioned this last week or not, but let me make this one loud and clear. I refunded my Bloodlines money. I waited 6 years. I paid $90 for that fucking game. And then I got to play it for about an hour. And before I decided, this is a piece of shit. This is not Bloodlines. I don't want this. I refunded it. They gave me my $89 back. And I bought 4 indie games. And you know what? I have been very pleased with these. These aren't like games that are going to be mentioned on any big website. They probably don't even cross X. But they're fun. And that's all I really want. You know? Just give me a fun game. Give me something fun to do for a few hours, you know? I put my 40 hours of work in every week. I come home. I'm exhausted. You know, I eat my dinner. And then I just want to have some entertainment for a few hours before I have to go at my mandatory bedtime. Because if I don't go to sleep on time, I don't get my 8 hours of rest. So I can wake up at 6 a.m. the next day and go into work and do this shit all over again. And I'm sure a lot of you guys are all the same too. Which is why I don't get what is so hard for a lot of these creators to understand. Just put out a good game. Just put out a good, fun, entertaining game. Don't try to put politics into it. Don't try to make a political spin. Don't try to be clever. Just put out a fun and enjoyable game. Outer Worlds 2, huge piece of dog shit. We knew it would be. Okay? Let's just face it, guys. Obsidian is dead. Okay? We're not going to see another Fallout New Vegas. If they announced today that Obsidian was going to do Fallout New Vegas 2, I would not buy it. I would not pre-order it. Why? Because I've seen Avowed. I played Outer Worlds. I've seen Outer Worlds 2. They were shit. The only good game that came out of Obsidian ever since Fallout New Vegas, and that's a long time ago, by the way, was Pentiment. A game I'm sure almost none of you have ever heard of. The only other person I know who plays it is Grim, and that's because I bought him a fucking copy of it. Have you guys played Pentiment? I really doubt it. But you should, because it's actually pretty fun. It's medieval, historical, and it's actually very interesting. It has a good plot. So if you want to buy an Obsidian game, buy that one. That one seems to have a little bit more heart in it. But yeah. So hopefully today is all about giving you guys something fun to enjoy for a few hours, getting a little escape from your daily routine. And I got some fun stuff to show off to help you figure out what you want to buy, what you want to read, what you want to watch, what you want to play with. Thanks, Ironcaster, for getting me into the toy thing. God damn it. Another fucking money drain. Anyway, let's get the crew on, all right? My voice is starting to get hacky, and I got to get something to drink. Hello, Grim.
Evening, Squaw.
Yep. And we got Ironcaster here.
Hello.
Yeah. Your fucking toy obsession. And Daniel.
Used to actually sound like a grumpy old man now, T-shirt.
I really do. And yes, John Harrison. Yes, keep real world extremists out of our hobbies. Gatekeeping is not only good but necessary. Yes, absolutely, 100%.
That actually is one of 2 controversial responses that I have to your monologue.
That's one of 2 controversial responses?
Oh, yeah. The first one.
Okay, let's hear it.
Let's talk about this video game problem we've got. This is what happens when people started pushing video games or art. Because art is inherently social, and social is inherently political. If you didn't want these people in, the thing should have been, this is not art. These are games for people to enjoy. These are release. It's monopoly. But the second that you start turning around and saying it's art, you let the artists in. And they're just expressing their art by making their ridiculous, idiotic, Nazi street killer game, or their, trans super, drag queen murder fest or whatever. So that's the first controversial one. The second one is gatekeeping is very good, but you got to remember you got to gatekeep from inside too.
Yeah, that's very true. Actually, you know what the best example of that is? Our dear our dear friend Mark Reinhagen, friend of our channel.
No, vampire guy.
Yeah, because he found out firsthand that gatekeeping from inside your own company is what he should have done from the beginning.
Absolutely. But you see it, these people, we got to be unified. We all got to be together. It's like, no. We all need to support each other. Like, for instance, I'm going to sub and like channels and stuff that I don't particularly watch because the content's not really a style that's for me, but it still puts out stuff like old school gaming or, old school anime or whatever it is that you're trying to support.
Yeah.
But you don't go out and like the people who are bad actors. You don't go out and like the people who run around slandering everybody under the sun, doing AI deep fakes, lying about whether or not they, how they produce their products that do bad things. You gatekeep these people out too, regardless of how much they agree with you, because that's how you end up with, a crazy off the wall garbage, just POS white supremacist being included in, say, mainstream conservatism. Not that an example of that has ever been anywhere with Nick Fuentes or Milo Yiannopoulos.
Okay, we're getting a little too political now.
Well, it happens everywhere. It happens on both sides. And it happens in all these different areas. But we got to keep that in our gaming too, even just as gaming.
We do.
I would push back slightly on the art thing. I think people use art as an excuse, but it's just as hollow as their claim to any other credentials.
Yeah, because I would agree with that.
Any artist,
yes.
So any artist who is pro censorship is no artist at all.
No,
really.
No, and the sad thing is we have censorship coming from both sides now. So
yeah,
it's easy label to fly under.
Yeah, I'm of the opinion that people should just leave us the fuck alone and let us enjoy what we enjoy. If it's something you don't like, don't participate in it. It's like, I don't go skydiving. Why? Because I don't like it. It's scary. It's not something I want to involve myself in. Therefore, I don't go. But do I make rules that say you can only skydive under a certain number of feet, or you can only wear certain kinds of equipment when you skydive, or you have to wear or you have to get certain kinds of licenses and regulations for skydiving? I don't. But,
What's the distance that's high enough to be hurt, but low enough that the chute doesn't open properly?
Yeah, exactly. It's like, how high can you survive a fall? So, it's stupid. I mean, I don't agree with people who want to regulate everything just because they don't enjoy it themselves on a personal level. It's like, Grim does not enjoy feet pics. I do. But Grim doesn't go around trying to, shut down, foot sites or anything like that, or censor it.
As far as you know.
As far as I know, yeah. Ironcaster likes short stack goblin chicks, but, I don't go around, trying to shut him down every time he flicks me the latest, pic that he's found.
We just kill as many goblins as we can.
Yes, we do.
You coming back?
And Daniel's obsessed with cars, but I don't limit him on what vehicles he can work on.
Hey, you want to deregulate the auto industry? I've been thinking that forever. I mean, Why do you think cars suck ass and are expensive when they're new, like when they're newer than like 1990? Like,
I know. I'm still paying for mine.
I just wish I could find a small truck. Like, I don't want a big old F-150. I want just a little pickup I can put, like, I don't know, maybe like a pallet in the back of.
Yep, that is why Caffey is your worst enemy. Caffey is the reason we no longer have good small trucks. The smallest thing you're going to have is something like my Nissan Frontier, which is still as big as a 90s F-150.
I used to like those little Nissan mini trucks. Those were good. Those were nice.
Yeah, that's what
they ran forever. Yeah. Speaking of which, Daniel, you had a car issue earlier this week. How'd that go?
Speaking of that Frontier and an F-150, because that's what my rental is. Driving down the interstate and a large piece of, I think it was roof flashing or possibly a ridge vent came off of a large 18-wheeler and hit the guy in front of me, went underneath my truck and punctured my fuel tank. So I got to watch about $50 worth of gasoline just pour out of my gas tank onto the concrete in front of a gas station, waiting on the tow truck to come haul it off to get fixed.
Jesus. Well, I bet that set you back.
Well, that's what insurance is for. But I'm just hoping that with what limited pictures and stuff I've got, we can track down the 18-wheeler that did it so that we can, I can get my deductible back.
I kind of, not to sound racist, but I kind of wonder if that particular trucker can read.
Well, he sure as hell doesn't know how to secure a load.
Well, that happens. And I have an interesting comment from Edward. He says, T-shirted, have you ever found yourself fapping to feet and discover they belong to a man? What do you do? Find new feet or keep on going? Well, Ed, no, I've never had that particular problem because most of the pics I look at are definitely attached to women because, there's definite clinical evidence that it's a woman.
There you heard it goes.
Yes. However, if you're willing to submit yours for observance, I will give it a try and see how I feel about it, and we can discuss it later. For science, yes. Just show me them hairy knuckle feet, them hobbit toes.
Tell me what them monkey grippers do.
Yeah, everybody talks about elbows and Adam's apples and all kinds of other stuff. If you really want to find the tranny in the room, start having them pull their shoes off. Yeah. It's like them crooked ass things. Those are dude feet. Don't have toes like that.
You asked Grim once. That's all. Uh-oh. And let me acknowledge really quick my only supporter out there. Thank you very much, Mercurius, for Australian $1. I appreciate you so much, dude. You literally pay me every 8 months.
Keep the lights on.
If it wasn't for you, man. If it wasn't for you. So let me sum up how I feel.
I just woke up in a fucking steaming mood, yeah? Because I live in a shithole! Do you know what I mean? Birmingham is a fucking shithole! I hate the fucking place! I fucking hate it! It's full of dickheads! I fucking hate it!
There we go.
Dorian Yates might have something to say about that.
I don't know. I've never been to Birmingham, but I have a friend who's from Birmingham. But he was not very nice. But
Birmingham.
Yeah, Heavy Metal was born in Birmingham, but
it was.
But that's because it's shit.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
right? It's a reaction to the city.
That is true. That is true. I mean, and the funny thing is Tony Iommi was working in a sheet metal plant. The day before Black Sabbath was supposed to go out on tour, he had a sheet metal slab fall on his fingers and slice 2 of them off.
Mm-hmm.
And he still shreds because he had to build little plastic finger extensions so he could continue to play guitar.
Which helps give him the unique sound.
Part of the overall heavy metal sound is actually because of that too, because of the way he had to adapt his playing. Part of the heavy industrial sound, some of the picking and whatnot that goes in to that classic heavy sound, like the additional down picking and some other stuff, is all little pieces of things he adapted to be able to play his songs with his fingers screwed up.
Mm-hmm. You see, you learn stuff on this channel, don't you, Ironcaster?
Yeah.
So, There's a controversial thing that's still floating around. I don't know that I want to get into a huge in-depth discussion on it, but maybe just a touch on the whole chainmail thing.
I thought that might be it.
Do we? I don't. Ironcaster's giving me that. Oh God, no! Please look. And look, he just muted his microphone.
I'm just sick of both sides using really shitty, facile arguments instead and talking past each other.
I tend to agree.
Talking about the chainmail mini rules, or are we talking about chainmail bikinis? Because I can't tell yet.
Oh no, I love chainmail. Nobody here, I think, hates chainmail bikinis, but the chainmail rules, on the other hand,
I tell you who does hate chainmail bikinis. Nipples.
I mean, somebody does.
There's so many damn non sequiturs, and then you got those bad actors on both sides that get accepted because they happen to be on the right side from time to time.
Mm-hmm. My only thing on chainmail bikinis is she better shave, or she's looking at getting a lot of short and curlies pulled. But Caster, what do you think about this?
It's just such a dumb thing to be arguing over at this point.
Yeah.
Like I don't even know what the argument is over anymore. Like, what is the real D&D, or like what's the best way, or what's the one true way to play? I can't even keep track anymore. People hate each other, and I don't remember why.
Yeah, I mean, I love and support the Basic Expert and all my other friends, and I support that they use chainmail in their game because they play old school D&D. And yes, those old rules do refer back to chainmail very frequently. It's, and Rob Kuntz is the one guy who says, well, Gary didn't use chainmail at his table. And yet when he provided an argument against it, the argument he provided was pretty well seen as Gary Gygax just basically remembering the chainmail rules out of his head. Just because he didn't whip out a book to run mass combat didn't mean he wasn't using chainmail rules,
That's where they're all, like I said, talking past each other and making wrong arguments. It's in the book because even at the time of publication, basic white box, that the basic D&D was still very, very much a work in progress.
Mm-hmm.
Even Gary admits it in a lot of his letters and stuff where he's talking back and forth with Dave Arneson. You had Arneson making up different mathematical rules and whatnot, different ways to adapt to create a combat system for the fantasy game. And Gygax at the same time was trying to downscale the chainmail fantasy rules to be what was coming to D&D. So it was like, hey, we haven't really worked out all the bugs in this yet. This is what it's based on. You can use this. But instead of these guys coming out and saying, here's the thing. It all started from the basis of chainmail that's in the books there, so that while we were working everything out and continuing to develop this process, you know where it came from. So you can develop it alongside too for something that works. And we, even by the time real playtesting started, we had already gotten past chainmail. Like chainmail was just a vestigial organ of what was left by the time we got to real playtesting. And it had already evolved past that. Instead of making that argument, which does say, hey, we weren't using chainmail because we had already adapted everything to the point we didn't need chainmail anymore. Instead of making that argument, they say stupid shit like, well, Gary never played like that at our table. It's like, dude, that doesn't change the fact that it's in the damn book, and it doesn't refute that point.
Exactly.
Make a good argument instead of giving. They basically make the Bro SR's straw man as their argument. It's like, seriously, you're going to adopt the other side's straw man. And the Bro SR does the same stuff because their argument's just retarded. But
wow.
John falls into it. He'll start off making the right argument and making a good point about chainmail or whatever he's arguing about, but he'll get pissed off and then start doing the same thing and start pushing like the purism and whatnot. And it's like, dude, you're killing your own argument.
I think John Harrison there makes a good point.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone always talks about chainmail. Nobody talks about outdoor survival.
True.
Which was, that's what you do for wilderness stuff in Zero E, right?
Sorry.
I was
going to say I'll counter that because a couple years ago the bros were banging on about outdoor survival.
Okay. I don't pay attention to them and therefore live a happy life.
Well, actually, one of the things that gets me, and is actually more kind of personal to me, because it's been carried through in subsequent editions. I mean, Chainmail hasn't been carried through beyond, the books, and neither has Outdoor Survival, because eventually D&D came up with its own rules for all that stuff, and it continues to evolve and create more new rules for all that stuff with every edition. But the one thing that has survived from the beginning onto the latest editions and seems to have been largely overlooked, ignored, or otherwise just completely left out is hirelings.
Well,
I have never, and I hate to say, in my 40 years of playing, because I know that's the usual argument, but seriously, in 40 years, and I played with everybody from like just newbies who never even heard of D&D to guys who actually bought the 3 books from Lou Zaki himself back in the 70s. And nobody uses hirelings ever. I mean, not for anything.
Well, that's very much a 4E on argument, because both Outdoor Survival and hirelings were very prevalent in 3.5 rules.
We never used them.
I mean, I'm not saying everybody used them. I'm saying that they were there.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying, is they've been in all the editions, but I've never seen a table that used them, and I played at a lot of different tables. I don't know about the rest of y'all, but...
Well, I think you got to remember as well.
Oh, sorry.
The thing you got to remember as well, especially if we're talking modern D&D, it becomes such a power fantasy to it that the need for hirelings is basically non-existent. Not when you don't need someone to hold a torch if you could just have a magic spell or a weapon that can glow. You don't need them to carry stuff if bag of holding can be a starter item for a mid-level character. It's become one of these older elements that has just frankly become unnecessary.
Grim?
I think the problem is logistics. And it's also the reason why they've depowered and de-emphasized all the summon abilities in 5e, and especially 2024 5e. Because keeping track of all that bullshit is more paperwork than people are really willing to do. And I think a lot of people feel that having a bunch of NPCs that you have to control takes your attention and the table's attention away from your main character, who is supposed to be the hero. I have played in games where hirelings were important, and that was with people who got into D&D through BECME and didn't have anyone who already knew the game to teach them how to play, so they went entirely off the books, and they put a lot of emphasis on hirelings. But that said, we had a player in that group who spent all of his starting money on hirelings, and then they all turned tail and ran when they failed a morale check the first encounter. So it wasn't really worth his while.
I think it's also a vestigial element from the wargaming days, in which those sort of battlefield mechanics was 100% important.
And that's one side of it too, is that when you look at it from a wargaming perspective, if I'm playing a war game, I control every single one of those little pieces on the board, every element of it, right? And they're literally just pieces on a board. The knight does not have morale to jump over the rank of pawns and advance in the chessboard. The bishop does not have, when I sacrifice a bishop, he doesn't complain. All right. And that's kind of how hirelings kind of were in a lot of ways. You see this in some of the idiotic arguments about T-Shirt's favorite module, where they're like, oh, you can beat the Tomb of Horrors by hiring a bunch of hirelings and just sending them in to trip all the traps. Well, you get the Hickman Revolution, and the Hickman Revolution is a natural progression of shrinking it down from units in a war down to a small, an individual party. And you get these narrative elements. Well, these are individual people, and you can't just hire them to go fall in the death pit. None of them are going to take your 15 gold and go jump in the death pit. It's not going to happen. So the hirelings kind of become a breach of reality that interferes with immersion. Though as a DM who is very well aware of the fact that every single new player who has no idea how to play, hasn't had a book, and you have to explain 15 times what a D20 is to them, they all want to play a druid. They all want to play a summoning wizard. They all want to play a necromancer. Every last one of them wants to play some class with 9,000 freaking summons and hirelings and undead hordes they got to keep track of. And you got to say, no, you need to play a fighter till you figure out the basics here. Because I don't need you having 19 turns that take 45 minutes each. So I was thank wizards for that.
Yeah. Now, obviously, basic BX, red, the Moldvay Red Book is what I got started with as far as D&D. And even it had rules for hirelings, but we didn't use them back then either when I was starting out. And part of my reason for that is because at literally the same time I discovered it, all of the choose your own adventure, endless quest, fighting fantasy books also started appearing on the shelves. And so being immersed in everything that was fantasy at the time, I would read all that stuff. And basically those were my primers on how to play the role-playing game and how to run the role-playing game. So because you don't hire hirelings and all those things, and those are all solo quests, that's basically kind of how I started thinking, oh, well, your character is kind of like the main one. And unfortunately, that's kind of carried on, I guess. But, I mean, these days, I tend to think people still have that syndrome of, main character syndrome to the point where, I don't know, maybe it's a case of, well, okay, at one point, I know in our games, when we thought about having NPCs along, everybody in the party hated NPCs, and the words glory stealing NPCs or XP stealing NPCs was part of the argument, as well as, I don't know, maybe hirelings being seen as some form of weakness. Oh, you have to have hirelings. You're pussy, aren't you?
I'll tell you, the game that we've had the most hirelings in ever has always been Call of Cthulhu.
Mm-hmm.
Weirdly, I think it's part of that whole sort of explorer subset of that. So you take along sled dogs and an Inuit handler and a bunch of baggage carrying people, or spear carriers if you're exploring the jungle or whatever. And their chief purpose is to die horribly as a warning to the players. So it seems to work in that. Perhaps because you don't feel the need to flesh them out as characters and control them so much.
No, maybe. Couple of different things here. I can address. Yes, John Harrison, you're right. I think 3.0 is kind of like the biggest sticker for this, because the fact that when they introduced a robust skill system, it basically allowed you to put together parties and classes that could cover all the skill bases, so you didn't need to hire a hireling for anything. So maybe that was part of it. You could be more self-sufficient because of the skill coverage. And that's kind of carried on into 5th edition as well. And Edward says, XP was disconnected from gold pieces, the need to carry every last brass and copper piece with you as you leave the dungeon. Well, that's the thing. What is typically the very first magic item that players are gonna find? The bag of holding.
Well, don't forget on top of that as well, most people have a tendency to just not track the weight of gold. That's an element of that no one ever talks about.
Yeah, that is also true. A lot of DMs hand wave the encumbrance rules. I kind of do to an extent. I mean, unless it's something ridiculous like you find a throne made of solid gold, it's kind of like, yeah, how are you getting that thing out of there?
I've always liked. I've always put a lot of banking systems in my D&D worlds, because the thing about it is you got to remember that because of the existence of magic, it makes certain modern elements, certain modern analogies fit better within the world, like
Hmm.
say a banking system. So
Mhm.
letters of credit with magical seals on them that prove they're correct and that sort of thing, to where you can get a letter and you can sign something off at the shop or whatever, and he can go get his money. The bag of holding thing is a DM failing. Why are you giving them the bag of holding that quickly? Why are you giving it to them right up front? Mainly because you're lazy and you don't want to deal with encumbrance or with anything
Mhm.
else. So stop doing it. It's never the first thing my people get. And I'll give you another piece. This is a thing I've kind of struggled with back and forth myself, because from a perspective of realism, if you're an adventurer and you're putting together an adventuring party for something, you're going to seek out people who fill in the gaps that are in your group. So it kind of makes sense for this guy to have his, be really good at picking locks, this guy over here to be really good at, diplomacy or whatever, so everybody fills a role. But from a game balance and a gaming perspective, I used to always run the rule that's like, you are not allowed to discuss your characters beyond saying, I think I'm going to play this class with the other players. You will build your character on your own, and everybody else will find out what they're good at in session, not session 0, in session 1. So, wait a minute. Everybody here has points in, I don't know, craft, whatever, and they're all just kind of mediocre at it. There's no one person who put all their points into lockpick and all their points into sneak and all their points into spot, and then some other guy who put all his points into diplomacy, because each one of them had to make a well-balanced and well-rounded adventurer who can do crap on their own, kind of like real person.
I like that. I prefer that to everybody just going, okay, well, we need somebody to cover this role and cover that role and all. That to me really seems artificial. The whole, let's all create our characters together and complement each other's skills and strengths and all. That is some 20th century shit there, man. I mean, some 2000s level shit, because it's like, that was never a thing growing up, and it wasn't a thing until we got to 3rd edition, and it was kind of like, oh, now we have to have all these skill checks, so we have to have all this shit covered.
But it can make for a more realistic game.
Yeah,
and just like
I
anything
agree.
else in the world, you can also go the opposite direction and break the hell out of it if it's not properly monitored and paid attention to. You'll notice that every super broken 3.5 character build type thing is something that makes absolutely no sense and is generally only useful. Like, they shouldn't make it to level 20 or to level 15 or whatever.
Well, they hardly ever do.
Off of the progression.
That's the other part of it too, is they hardly ever do. I mean, most games stop at 6 levels. So, but go ahead, Grim.
The treasure inflation problem is one. So you basically have to introduce either, what was it, planar crystals in 4th edition they introduced as the next level above platinum pieces, I think.
Oh, no.
But there's no reason why you couldn't have higher denomination gold coins that are worth like 5 gold each to cut down on the weight. But promissory notes are an interesting idea.
Yeah.
And of course, the Knights Templar were the first real banking institution, according to some. So you could have a lot of fun with a fantasy banking system, like a bunch of paladins running fortresses and offering promissory notes and cashing in and out. Paladin of Mammon with Smite Pauper as a special skill.
I mean, it makes perfect sense to me. I mean, if you're going to have a institution which is able to give out letters of credit and promissory notes, they have to have a fortune stashed away. So they also have to have a means of protecting it.
Yep. And I used to also do a trade guild marks type system. It was hard to implement because players kind of have to be economics wonks and market wonks to really utilize it. But I used to do a thing where it'd be like you had your woodcutters guild, kind of like in a Dragon Riders of Pern. You had your Smith Guild marks and you had your Woodcutters Guild marks and your Fur Trappers Guild marks that were representative of goods from these, could always be directly traded for goods.
Like corporate script.
Yeah. But here's the thing. It's like, I might go from one nation to the next and my Smith marks are not as good over here because there's tons of, it's a dwarven nation and there's Smiths everywhere. So it's really common. But the Fur Trapper marks or the Woodcutter marks are worth 5 times as much because there ain't no damn trees underground.
I feel like we needed Alexander McCree to be on today too, but because he's got the banking stuff down pat. But another thing, and I know this from history personally. I have visited an old Texas brothel, like an ex, what used to be a brothel back in the day. And one of the first things that they told me up front was they showed me the cashier area, which is where the cowboys would go in there and they would put money down and get these tokens. So the girls themselves never held any cash whatsoever in order to, prevent them from being robbed or taken advantage of by the cowboys. Yeah. And I thought, hell, if a brothel is this well organized that they would use tokens, then there's probably other systems like this that would exist for street level stuff. I mean, let's say you do manage to go down into a dungeon or something like that, and you pull out, some of these planar crystals. It's like, and the nearest place to you is, like a hamlet. It's like, good luck cashing that shit in.
Oh yeah. I'll tell you what else is fun is fractional reserve banking. When the big city that happens to have your investment guy who's got all your gold and platinum and stuff that you got your credit notes from, and next thing you know, oh, by the way, there's a horde of orc invasion going there. Ain't no player sitting here saying all of a sudden that he wants to go explore over there in the mountains instead. Their ass is hightailing it right back. You can call it a railroad all you want to. I call it motivation. Like, oh, you want to go poke around the invisible walls at the edge of my world? Congratulations, your bank is about to have a run of green guys with tusks on it.
Didn't Roman brothels have markers? I think
probably
clay glazed tokens. I think.
I'm sure they did. I'm sure they had some kind of token. Token economy sounds bad because of connotations, but I mean, token economy actually makes sense. I mean, it's it even goes back to like our arcade games. When I was a kid and we go to the arcade, you didn't put quarters in the machine, you put tokens in. So what'd you have to do? You'd go, put your dollar in there, and sometimes to incentivize, instead of 4 tokens for $1, they'd give you 5 tokens.
And then you go play ghouls and goblins, and that may as well be 1 token.
Yeah, might as well. Yeah. But the thing is, they had a token. I mean, it's like once they got your money, they got your money. It's the same thing with casinos. I mean, you don't go in there and play with money. You go in there and you play with chips. You put your money in their bank and you cash in their chips and stuff. It makes perfect sense. It's a form of control.
That damn cage is in the middle of the floor, surrounded by everybody, 14 cameras, 900 security guys. You ain't getting to the money.
Yeah. But it makes perfect sense. I mean, in a money. I mean, I don't know how we got off so much on banking when we went from hirelings and chainmail, but shit, isn't it funny how these conversations evolve? But hopefully, there's some good information here for you guys out there in the audience listening. But do we have anything else to add to it, or?
I guess just this. I think the old school version of play.
Mm-hmm.
Gary just put a bunch of money sinks in there. He put a bunch of resource sinks where you could dump your gold, platinum, electrum, whatever, to basically get just like a video game where you can get it out of the economy, right? Mm-hmm. Where we can soak it back up to maintain its value. The problem is when they moved away from that, they didn't put a lot of thought into fixing that problem. And that's where you have these runaway, everybody's Elon Musk by the time they're seventh level. And it's like, why aren't you just building spaceships and, flying on massage planes instead of going adventuring? When you're this freaking wealthy, you can buy 6 different nations.
Exactly.
And it's because they didn't give you anything to manage, absorb, or correct all that wealth. Because even with the, whatever token system, banking system you have, and I'll just go ahead and use a mob term for it instead of a real banking term. But, you got to pay the VIC.
Yeah, the VIC.
They ain't gonna keep your money for free.
Yeah, and there's also the oh fuck, I just forgot it. Damn it. I hate it when I do that. I had an idea and I was gonna say, and then I forgot. Damn it. It's a senior moment, I guess. But yeah, it's like, there's a lot more You know, the funny thing is, the older I get and the more I read about what people are arguing about on the net, and the more I listen to other people talking about different things on X, the more I start to get kind of involved with how deep you can really go, how simulationist you can really go with D&D. Like, okay, yeah, upkeep, for example, is something that was listed way back when, and yet everybody hand waved that. I mean, I didn't see it again until 3rd edition, and it popped up in downtime in one of in their optional books.
Sorry about that. I did not get to the mute fast enough when the coal roller went by.
That's all right. But yeah, it's like, you know, upkeep costs were like what? It's like Gary had like 100 gold pieces a month would be deducted from your bag just for upkeep costs, which is like, you know, spending money on taverns and carousing and everything else. And another thing too is a friend and I, we found out very early on while we were looking at Pathfinder 2nd edition, it was like, you know, there's a skill in Pathfinder that's called profession, and it can be whatever profession you want to do. Do you want to brew beer? Do you want to be a bartender? Do you want to be an exotic dancer? Do you want to shovel shit? It doesn't matter. Profession is like the catch-all skill where you make your money on a weekly basis. And we looked at how much money you could make on a weekly basis, even if you were good. And then we compared it to the prices in the equipment guide. And we came to this conclusion that adventurers are overcharged a lot.
Yeah.
They are.
Well, and a lot of that's also GMs not paying attention to stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I mean, I'll give you the short version because it is funny. I did have a paladin who decided to come into a little run downtown in my 3.5 game, and he's like, "Oh, you know, well, I'm gonna leave some gold pieces with these tavern people, you know, to fix this tavern up, and you know, I'm gonna take it over and turn it into a business." And I'm like, "Dude, this whole town has like 5 gold pieces." So they come back, and of course, it's like, "Oh yeah, that barmaid, yeah, she just hightailed it out the opposite way y'all left, like 5 minutes after you left."
Mm-hmm.
And she's living her best life on the other side of the river somewhere.
Yeah,
dummy. But yeah, it's like all this stuff that costs like a copper piece or something. And I think Cyberpunk Red has the absolute, and Cyberpunk really has the absolute best way to fix that. Here's your lifestyle. It costs you this much. I take it out of your gold every time. You don't have to ask me about paying for taverns and stuff like that, or what coins you're using, or bank keeping. As long as you're spending less than X amount of gold in town, I don't care. And we just deduct it out of your monthly pension.
Mm-hmm. Sounds good. Well, all right. Moving on to something a little different. I mean, not that I'm not enjoying this convo, but it's a good one. And it's something we could definitely get lost on for a few hours. So the Black Friday sales are on over at Amazon, and I've been like really carefully picking and choosing what I get. And here's kind of the deal for whenever I pick up a movie. I look at the price very carefully, and then I compare it to the digital owning cost. Like, let's say you want to buy Megan 2.0. Well, it costs $15 to purchase for permanent download, right? Or for permanent watch, which means, you know, like anytime I want to watch Megan 2.0, I can watch it for $15, or I can watch it, but I have to pay $15 for the digital. Versus if I find the actual disc is being sold for like $10, I jump on that because obviously I'm always going to go for physical media. And to me, that is a good deal. So I found some good deals, and I'm sure Ironcaster will like some of these. Actually, all of y'all will. But let me put this up here for you, William. Players being overcharged as part of the system. Gary had the set prices for the Frontier Pioneer style prices to drain gold off players. Well, yeah, and you see why he has to. And as I pointed out more than once, during the California Gold Rush, the miners very rarely struck it rich, but the people who walked out of that whole thing wealthy were the merchants.
Mm-hmm. Hey, that's just common sense there.
Mm-hmm.
Supply and demand.
Supply and demand. But yes, I found collector's edition Texas Chainsaw Massacre: The Next Generation for $10, and I have the DVD copy, so this is a nice upgrade for me. And it's not the best Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie, but it's one I enjoyed because I like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre movies.
I loved that new one. That one made me laugh.
Yeah, new one was good.
When they're all, we're gonna be so canceled.
That
was my favorite part.
I both loved and hated that movie because it was so stupid in parts. But here's one some of y'all may or may not recognize. Y'all remember this one?
Damn.
If you have not seen this one, this is a classic. You got to watch because they were showing this all the time when I was a kid, and it's got all the high action, excitement, adventure, and everything else, and it's got halfway decent acting and some relatively funny parts. It's more high adventure, but it's kind of bloody too. But a definite you should watch. And then I had to get this little jewel because I already had the first Night of the Demons. And it's a classic. I saw it years ago on cable. I never got to see 2. And it was cheaper now. And I never got to see 3. So I said, the hell, man, let's just jump on these old school. Because old school horror is best school horror. And then for Ironcaster, I had to get this one because, well, the price was good. It wasn't $10, but it was a lot cheaper than it normally was.
There's some Kikaider.
Yeah, Kikaider. And this is some old school stuff, baby. This is like the 70s versions of it?
Some of that old toku.
That old tokusatsu.
Stinky tofu.
Yes. Hey, stinky tofu is really popular. And then I got this one that I'm sure Ironcaster will absolutely love.
I didn't even realize that came out on Blu-ray.
It did come out on Blu-ray. I found it. I got it cheaper.
Get outside of starting people's Twitter profiles.
Yes, well, can I say it's this one is going right there in the rack next to Redo of Healer and Interspecies Reviewers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Going in the rack.
That's right. Right after I
kind of gushing I'd like to do over magical girls.
well, you know, what can I say? I like my hentai. Oh my gosh. And I got some what?
I did want to ask you a question.
Uh-oh.
Well, you and I had talked a little bit about watching some media, and
yes,
I've been holding up to my half of the bargain. I'm on episode like 44.
Yes,
Fist of the North Star, where they've now rescued Toki.
As soon as this show is over, I'm gonna start watching yours because I have a whole week off, so I'm gonna hold up my end of the bargain.
I've got the whole next week off as well, so maybe we can, I don't know, do some streaming, play some games.
Hey, that'd be nice. I've got a bunch of Zombicide figures I really need to start painting, but
paint stream.
Yeah, paint stream would be cool. I do have some fun stuff to show you too. Let me see. I know I showed you guys what we were gonna look at. I don't know if we have time though, because Grim has got his schedule.
Yes. Very strict.
What is wrong with Caster's mouth? It does look kind of purple.
Yeah, I had a popsicle eye snuck on.
Ah. Okay. Let me see here. Where is it? I'm so. Oh, speaking of this, I almost forgot to say.
I'm a big fan of the Dungeons and Dragons movie. It's why my lips are blue now.
Yeah, there you go. Oh God, that movie was. I liked it. I don't care what anybody says. I mean, yes, it was bad, but it was bad in all the best ways. Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein is fucking great.
It was really good. I watched that.
It is really good. It is a must watch. Jacob Elordi, who plays the monster, is so good. and it is so well written. It's probably my favorite Frankenstein movie of all now. And no shit. Just seriously, because it is that good. And Frankenstein is a character I really like. Well, I mean, the monster is a character I really like.
I heard it was a adaptation of the '94.
No, it's similar, but
it's a significant move towards the book away from the movie, but it is a fairly elegant synthesis of the two. And it has Del Toro's amazing sort of way that he makes everything look to it.
But I have this here for Daniel to enjoy. So here you go, Daniel. Well, actually, I'm sure Grim will enjoy this too.
Now
in a land of shadow and peril, one man stands against the darkness.
Come on, you big ugly brute!
Elvis Presley in The Adventure of a Lifetime.
Well, the stars are shining over back in the night, and we're raising up a toast in the lantern light.
Sunset's falling quick, darling. The road to Mordor won't wait on a tired heart.
Yet your heart is strong, and it lights the path better than any torch.
Then I'll keep it burning.
Keep your shields high, boys. We push through that gate or we die right here.
More of them coming from the ridge!
Then we'll meet them head on. Steel to steel, heart to heart. On me for the free folk!
Easy now, little fella. This trinket's dangerous in the wrong hands.
Precious. It belongs to us.
Not today.
Come on, you ugly critters. Let's dance. Out there in the dark, there's a beckoning volcano.
Aye.
For the freelands, with me! Return to sender!
If the road pulls me away, it's only so I can come back. I couldn't forget your light if I tried.
And yet the world you ride toward is shadowed and perilous.
Well, I reckon I just busted my foot.
Deep in the shadow, the fire's gonna glow. Hear the mountains ring with thunder below. I'm standing tall with the sword in my hand, gonna bring back the light to this darkened land. Hey, hey!
Mercy. She's fast.
Shines like sin itself. Keeps calling my name.
Me, Elvis. I'm yours.
Don't reckon I oughta, but Lord, it sure feels right in my hand.
Power. Push him back to the gate.
Aye, Captain.
This is what AI should be used
song
for.
to sing. With me, charge!
Who are you to deny the return of the king?
Just a man with a song in his heart, old-timer. But if he's the king you're talking about, maybe I'm the one who's got to help him come home.
Come on, boy. Just a little further. You made it this far. Men of the free lands, the dark gate yawns before us, black as a gambler's heart. But listen, and we'll strike a chord so true the world will remember it in every sunrise. If letting go could set your soul free, then let it fall.
I would watch the shit out of that.
Needs the tower with the blazing face of Johnny Cash in it.
Oh, maybe so. Actually, I think somebody did a Sora that had Elvis and Johnny Cash in it, and I forgot what it was, but
still better than Rings of Power.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I would watch Elvis Presley do Lord of the Rings over Rings of Power any day of the week. Oh my God. Well, see here, Elrond, we got to take this here ring to Mordor, and I'm going to need a crew. So I want you to get all the boys together and let's get them assembled.
Quickly.
We head out at dawn, baby. Taking care of business.
For the trip, take this lambus bread. It's stuffed with the peanut butter and bananas for you.
Thank you, darling. Is it all right to fry it? Because, you know, I like it fried peanut butter banana sandwich, you know? My favorite.
He throws the ring into the fires of Horadone. Is Sauron sitting on the toilet?
I got one more if you can handle it. It's not an Elvis, but I found this one today and I was laughing my ass off through it. Hopefully we're not going to get claimed for this. If we do get claimed for any of this shit, then you know they'll be gone. But
is there no Elvis MD Geist? That'd be great.
I haven't seen that yet, but they have Elvis doing just about everything else. They got Elvis with Bruce Lee and everything else. But Here we go. You might like this one. This is a particular guy that I'm very fond of.
Oh, you fuckers, I'm back. This is Gunnery Sergeant Hartman. And today we're invading the civilian supply depot known as Walmart, where logic comes to die and socks come in 50 packs.
This is what AI should be for.
A door that listens to fucking orders. Oh, you want attitude too? Why hasn't this goddamn door been fixed yet? What the fuck? This wheel's got more damn rebellion than a platoon of fucking privates on payday. Get it fixed before I court-martial the maintenance crew. Fucking ridiculous.
Hold on.
Private Fat Boy, you are violating aisle formation protocol. Move those fat little legs with purpose or prepare for retail combat.
That kind of looks like somebody we know.
Yeah, okay.
Good hustle. Carry on. You call that fucking whole grain? I call it false advertising wrapped in weakness. Empty sound, just like the vitamins this gives you. Don't eat this shit, America! I've seen redder faces after push-ups, you hear me? This thing thinks it's embarrassed, but I've made recruits redder than this just by breathing on them. Watch this. This humidity can train recruits in endurance. You get out here, you sweat, you breathe this fog. Who the fuck, shit, fuck authorized this morale patch? This slogan belongs on a fucking therapy brochure, not a garment of war. Now this is the tool of discipline. Never mind, it's diplomacy disguised as failure. This shit doesn't even work. Where's the manager? Plastic peace pipe.
Sir, can I help you with something?
This looks more organized than Congress. Whoever assembled this tackle box gets a medal. Who put this display together? Get your ass over here. Attention Walmart shoppers, Private Fat Boy, report to the fucking front immediately for mandatory PT. That's physical training, not pretend to move slowly. Bring your legs, your soul, and a water cold enough to freeze a Marine soul, and twice as disorganized. Who stocked these pizzas like this? A blindfolded raccoon? This looks like pure shit. So this is where America keeps its backbone, over-the-counter and overpriced medications. Look at this aisle, stacked like an ammo rack, and every damn box costs more than a week's chow. Why the hell does it cost so much? I've seen supply drops move faster than this shit. Move those items like your country depends on it. Come on, people, you're pissing me off. Hurry the fuck up.
Sir, could I see your receipt?
I already showed my receipt at Costco, you sorry ass of a human. Now get out of my way. Move! Mission complete! I acquired socks, beef jerky, and 3 fucking life lessons in pure patience. Now you listen up, you magnificent civilians. Drop a comment and tell me where I'm going next before I inspect your shopping cart for weakness. Dismiss.
Come on, that was good. I miss Ermy. I miss that performance. Oh God, he was a legend. And yeah, I've seen this a long time ago.
Yep, that's an important. That one's from the pre-AI days, right there.
I think somebody actually has done some Elvis versus Cthulhu type stuff, but I'll have to look. But I know you do.
Fun.
I know. Have fun, dude. We'll see you. But that is, in my opinion, what AI should be used for, is remaking shit and making it better. You know, not just whole-handedly, making new things. But anyway, all right, my voice is starting to croak. We're at an hour. We've had some fun. We didn't go totally negative. Actually, we really didn't go negative at all, other than my rant at the beginning of the show. So we did pretty good, I think.
All your fault.
Yeah, it's all my fault, but that's okay. It's my show. I can do that. All right, y'all take care out there in YouTube land. Assuming my voice holds up, I may run tomorrow. I've been telling Grim I would. That was before, of course, I got a cold, but well, this isn't a cold. This is an upper respiratory infection. But yeah, if I can manage to run tomorrow, I will. Otherwise, we'll catch you on Tuesday, and this time, hopefully, we'll actually be there on Tuesday. So, anyway, y'all take care, and we'll see you next time. I gotta scroll up and find the. Let me see where is it?
I remember how to do.
Oh yeah, my name is Bob Kelso, and I like whores.
Oh no, that's not it. What about this one? Can we watch that again? No?
Don't fuck with me!
Okay.
You're one of them special folks, ain't you?
Getting all the good ones. We haven't played these in forever, so, we got to do them when we can. I miss Fat Geralt so much. Fat Geralt was literally the only reason to play Last of Us 2. Actually, I heard game-wise it's actually pretty good. It's just, the narrative sucks. But,
You are made of stupid.
I never use that one. I should use that one more often, but I'm afraid it's too insulting. We need to find more uses for this.
God damn!
Yep. All right. Enough fun. Y'all, we'll see you later. Take care. Next time.
On behalf of the staff of the Independent California Motel, I wish you all sweet dreams.